Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Crooked Horse Rifle and Pistol out of Lamar County, Mississippi. And today, we have ourselves another piece of firearms history. Let's go back to the bench and talk about what we got. Well, hello there, friends, ladies, gentlemen, fellow firearms enthusiasts. Welcome back to Crooked Horse Rifle and Pistol out of Lamar County, Mississippi. And today, we have ourselves another piece of history. This here is a P38. Alright, so like I said, what we have here is a World War II era German P38 pistol. Now, when you think about, the German Wehrmacht during World War II, in the pistols that they carried, we all like to think about the German Luger. Well, yes, they carried, they still carried the Luger, but they also carried a whole bunch of several other pistols too, including this one. So the P38 here is chambered in 9mm and was developed by Karl Walther in 1938 for the German Army, and was actually intended to replace the Luger P08. Now the P08, that's the iconic pistol that we all see in the movies that the German soldier, is carrying. And the reason that they wanted to replace the P08 was they were looking for something that was less complex. I don't know if y'all, if you ever put hands on a P08 pistol. They just look like a real pain in the butt, to work with. Also, they were looking to produce something that quickly, in large quantities, and of course, just like everybody else out in the world, back then and today, they're looking for something that was cheaper, to manufacture. And the P38 here, fit the bill. Now the P38 was officially accepted by the Wehrmacht in 1938. However, they wouldn't, production, wouldn't occur until about 1939, 1940. It wasn't just Walther that made these pistols. As the war progressed and the Germans were getting their butts handed to them, they needed something to, they needed to pick up the pace in production. So two other companies joined, Walther, and that was Mauser, and another company, lesser known, called Spreework. So the ammunition I'm using is 115 grain, 9mm Sailor below. Let's see if I can't hit anything. Slide didn't lock back to the rear on that last one. Kind of normal with those older pistols. In case you did notice, I'm sporting some new eye protection. These are the War Ii Saints. Main reason is I needed some eye protection, or I was looking for some eye protection that afforded some better protection, some action, some ballistic rated eyeglasses. Last time I was out in the range picking up my brass, I just happened to notice all the, the copper shrapnel, laying around on the ground that, from hitting them steel targets. And they were coming back pretty close, almost to my firing line. And I got to realizing that, we got to thinking that them cheap off-the-shelf, safety glasses just weren't going to cut it. Another thing, with shooting these old firearms, of course, before you shoot them, you make sure they're cleaned, and you're checking for any signs of anything that may cause a malfunction. But there's always a risk of a catastrophic malfunction where these they blow up in your face or something, and need something that again can offer my eye some better protection. I know Wile X, they don't sponsor the channel in any way. But anywho, like I said, companies that Walter, Mauser, and Spreework would all manufacture the P38s. Now during the war, they the Germans, they're doing their best to keep their their arms plants secret. So instead of referring them to by a name, they referred to them by codes. Now Walter, their pistols would have the code AC stamped on them. Mauser would have BYC stamped on them, and Spreework would have CYQ. And a couple interesting things about the Spreework P38s, which this particular one is manufactured by Spreework. Spreework was the only P38s that were manufactured outside of Germany. But the Spreework was actually manufactured in Czechoslovakia, and they were likely using slave labor like so many other armament factories. Now the P38 production will continue to about the close of World War II. However, in 1957, Walter would bring back the P38 for the West German military, and would be the standard sidearm until 1963 for Germany, or at least West Germany. Now there are other variants of the P38 that look very similar, with just some very minor modifications. There's the P1, the P4, and the P5. So I feel the need to put some more bullets in this magazine. So I enjoy shooting these old, these old pistols and old rifles too. Well, let's see if I can hit anything now. I will say, for being, a pistol this old, the trigger action on this thing is really smooth, Let's see. Yeah, we'll do this in single action. Really not much, any uptake at all. and not much on the release. Now let's do double action. Even the reset on double action is pretty smooth. Let's go back to the bench, talk about the features of the P38. So for the P38, of course, it'll be a steel frame along with the Bakelite grips. Now early models of the Walters, they would actually have walnut grips on them. Starting from the front, you have your standard. Let's make sure we're clear there. Your standard front sight post. So if we can't zoom in on that there. Your standard front sight post. And your rear little notch sight there. And then going back for your safety. Now it did not have an ambidextrous safety on it. You have your S. And see how good we can get in there. Let's see if we can zoom in a little closer. Yep. Put your S there for safe. And then flip forward. F for fire. And you can mark a little, you can barely make out the little red dot on there. Now another interesting aspect on this pistol is the decocking, has the safety decocking mechanism. Something that's seen on modern firearms today, such as the Beretta 92 UFS, or the M9 or whatever variant. So if it's on safe, and you engage that safety, it safely brings the hammer home. Now for the magazine release, just like your other pistols of the era, that were made by Soviet and Axis powers, they liked that heel magazine release. So you got your little heel lever there, push it back, and you pull your magazine out. They intentionally manufactured them pistols so the magazine would not drop out, because they did not want their soldiers losing their magazines on the field. And there's also the theory behind having the magazine slide release, because instead of pushing a button on the side letting your magazine drop out, you had to physically bring your thumb up, push that back, then you can pull it out. Like I said earlier, the magazine on this pistol, was an 8-round single stack magazine. And for firing, it was a double action, single action firing. Again, something you see in modern firearms today, particularly the Beretta. And the Beretta 92. Now this pistol, specifically here, again, was manufactured by Spree Work, and it's looking at the analyzing the finish on it, it's had a rough life. It's definitely got its shares of we'll call it battle scars. This particular pistol was manufactured in April 1945 just prior to Russia's advancement into Czechoslovakia. Now, allegedly, there were some spree work P38s that were continued into production, with the Russian occupation. It wasn't uncommon for Soviet forces to commandeer, if you will, German weaponry and utilize them for themselves. They did it with with pistols. They did it with German K98 rifles. In fact, just a little side piece on the K98. If you come across a German K98, and it's just none of the serial numbers match up, it's just a mixed match of pieces, and chances are, it was a Russian capture. What the Russians did is, when they captured all them firearms, they disassembled all of them, and then they refinish them, make any repairs, throw all the bits and pieces in a pile, and just reassemble everything. So it was just a giant hodgepodge. Now this particular pistol, all the serial numbers match on it, so highly unlikely this was ever a Russian capture. Another thing about the spree work pistols, they were all had the CYQ stamped on them. However, toward the end, the die broke. So there's a lot of them that stamped what looks like CYV. And on the back part of the slide here, there's just a small hint of the Wehrmacht stamps on it. The elements of time have really kind of worn them down, but you can barely make them out. So I got a loaded magazine. Let's put 8 more rounds through this thing. So we're going to see how far if we can't reach out and touch some of them targets way out there. I'll be at the 40, 50 yard range. I'm not holding my breath about hitting anything at the 80 yard mark, but I might surprise myself. Let's see what we can do. We're going to start off in single action. Well, I'm impressed myself. Maybe not. There we go. Yeah, let's move a little to the side there, keep hitting that target. That's about 20 yards. I tell you, 8 rounds, it just goes by entirely way too fast. I think we're gonna load this magazine up and try one more time. All right. Got ourselves a little jam there. Things like failure to feed, failure to fire, those are all, things that you got to kind of deal with when shooting modern ammunition through an old you know, through old weapons, you know, firearms. So I got a few of them out there. Not too shabby. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for coming out and joining us here at Crooked Horse Rifle and Pistol out of Lamar County, Mississippi, and allowing me to showcase for you this World War II era spree work P38. Now stay tuned for my next video. I'll have a cousin of the P38, which I think you'll find quite interesting. So until the next time, ladies, gentlemen, fellow firearms enthusiasts, thank you for shooting with us.